God speaks to us. God reveals himself in the scriptures and in tradition. And two elements of tradition are the lives of the saints and sacred art.
Let the Oppressed Go Free is one of the most complex sculptures that I've created. And I do believe it's the only monument to human trafficking in existence today.
Human trafficking isn't just something that happens to other people in other countries. Often, the trafficker is someone the victim knows, loves, and trusts.
In the work that I do, I see how people who are already victims of violence, of war, and poverty are particularly vulnerable to human traffickers.
Since operating the Canadian Human Trafficking Hotline in 2019, we have identified over 1,500 cases of sex and labor trafficking in Canada, involving over 2,000 individual victims and survivors. And unfortunately, we know this is only the tip of the iceberg.
I think people will be surprised that it happens here. It happens under our very nose in a country where we have laws that are here to protect us, where we have systems in place that should protect us.
I want to thank the Bratty family and the Bratty Foundation for their outstanding leadership and commitment to our province, and to raise awareness of human trafficking that's heinous and despicable.
When I created this piece, I wanted to give an authentic portrait of human trafficking, which meant I could not just use one face for that portrait because there's many different sides, many different aspects of human trafficking. The sculpture starts with Saint Bakhita, who is a slave from the previous generation, opening up the underground and letting the oppressed go free.
Really what Tim is doing is asking us to dare to look, to see a real challenging situation in our society, something that I think in some way touches the vulnerability of each person. And in order to foster a conversation about this, to have the statue here at Regis College, I think this is a place that can help hold the conversation.
A lot of these faces that I used were actually taken from photographs of actual people that were trafficked and released.
When people see this monument, this statue, a conversation is going to be had. And the conversation is going to bring that awareness that we want all people in Ontario to be aware of, and know that there are ways that they can keep themselves safe.
When I was working on this piece, collaborating with the Vatican, they suggested to me that I actually put a little baby in the piece because newborn babies are sold on the black market.
Tim Schmaltz did an incredible job of capturing forced servitude, labor exploitation, and human trafficking. You can also see the humanity and the resilience behind the victims and survivors, showing that there is hope out of the darkness to ensure that everyone in our country is free from violence, oppression, and exploitation.
What I love about this sculpture is by having so many people in here, I've had so many opportunities to get an authentic representation of human trafficking. I also have included in here some of the people, they don't necessarily look like they're trafficked. And that invisibility is what perpetuates this within our culture here.
I see the faces of people that I have met, the faces of children, of women, of men. So I think it's important for us to see that we're not talking only about statistics, but we're talking of people with a name and a face.
I used the portrait, the face of my own daughter for this sculpture. She modeled for this piece, and I wanted to do that so the experience about creating it was all the more to me that these are children, these are daughters, these are sons that make up this problem of human trafficking.
The sculpture itself is very emotional and moving, but I find it also very inspirational, and I find it about hope and triumph. Despite some of the anguish and some of the faces on the sculpture, to me it's about the achievements of St. Bakhita that, although broken by the world, would not be defeated by the world and rose up and grew stronger.
As I worked on the piece, midway through it, I read that Pope Francis said, human trafficking will always exist if it's kept underground. Sculpture can be used as a tool, it can be used as a weapon. This is a weapon to fight indifference, and it is a tool to bring change within our culture today. If we can't grasp and identify that we have a problem, if we can't see it, we can't do anything. So this 20-foot sculpture here in the center of the city is a start, I believe, to change this culture, to change the society.